Hello, ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Weekly Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about the corporate debt crisis and also I'll talk about ID 2020. I'm not sure if we are going to have a health certificate digitally. And before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the upcoming token stacking. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, and Patreon as well. So for Patreon, I just post a video about where to buy face masks and how to choose a face mask. And so this is pretty time sensitive because you can pre-order the face mask the surgical mask right now. So if you're interested, you can join my Patreon group. If you are my Patreon member, you can check the videos out. Of course, I talk about who is patient zero, and of course, there's a patient zero, right? And this is starting from Wuhan, so you can check out this video as well. And of course, right now people fight for safety. People have a hard time buying gold and silver. There's certain platform you can still buy gold and silver. You can check it out as well. Of course, I also talk about the essential vitamins for preventing coronavirus, and that so those vitamins have scientific journal to back it up. It's not just buffing based off out of thin air. So right now is a good time to boost up your immune system, preventing the coronavirus with the pandemics coming up already in right now actually. So let's talk about the corporate debt crisis quickly. So the reason why there's a corporate debt crisis is because of the easy money policy for the decades, like after the 2008 financial crisis. And basically, all the big banks receive free money from the central banks, not only in the US, in the ECB, in Europe, in Asia, Bank of China, Bank of Japan, is almost everywhere. So they basically get a whole bunch of free money. And of course, some of the company, they buy back their own stock to boost up the share price. And I think a lot of them, they don't even reinvest in their infrastructure or invent a new product or new big thing for the next product, for innovation or R&D. They just basically buy back the stock and then boost up the price, and then the CEO can sell the stock and make a whole bunch of money. And because of the easy money, no interest policy, basically. So right now, HSBC and Standard Chartered Bank basically canceled the dividends and also suspending buyback program, buy back their own shares because of the coronavirus pandemic. So this is not what they want. It's not HSBC and Standard Chartered CEO want to do. It's because they are forced by the Bank of England. So the central bank, basically from UK, tell them, hey, don't use the money to give back to the investor, dividends don't give it to the investor, and also don't buy back your own stock, right? Of course, the CEO also have a pay cut as well, and of course the HSBC. So HSBC is a pretty big bank in Europe as well as in Asia as well, and Standard Chartered. Those two banks are based in London. The headquarters is in London, is in UK, and of course the stock prices punch for HSBC because there's no dividends, because this is the first time I think in history in HSBC no dividends. And so the reason why they have no dividends and all that is because there will be a lot of small business. Probably there's a default small business loan, right? And because of the continuous lockdown, there's no business activities. The business, for example, if you have a restaurant business, or if you have some type of retail business, you're in big trouble right now. Everything is locked down. Nobody allowed to go outside. So they anticipate there will be a lot of bankruptcy. Anticipate there will be a small business loan default, as well as housing, the mortgage default, as well as, of course, the consumer debt, right? The credit card debt, student loan default, because some people probably their hours got cut, right? Some people work from home, maybe hours got cut, and also they don't get paid the full rate. They are not paying 40 hours, probably they may pay less than that. And of course, some people, their hours cut by half, become 20 hours per week. So there's a whole bunch of issues coming up because of the lockdown. The economic activities has been affected, and so this is a potential coming economic depression coming up. So to weather this depression, this coming up crisis, so they said no more dividends to the investor, no more stock buyback and all that. You have to use this money to cover probably for the losses for those small business, from the consumer debt as well and student loan debt. And of course, if you still remember the repo market, even before the coronavirus pandemic outbreak, they already have some problem with the repo markets. Basically, it's an interbank transfer. So overnight, they have some like every night they have some interbank transfer, and looks like the bank does not have enough cash, so they don't want to they don't have enough cash to do an interbank transfer. So of course, the government inject a whole bunch of money to cover all this interbank transfer, which is the ripple, right? So, and another thing is corporate debt. The corporate debt is not that transparent, right? They are not like in the stock exchange, you can trade the stock, right? But there's no some type of bond exchange. You can trade bonds, right? It's not. Those are not very transparent. And most of the bonds holder, those are institutional investor. They only maybe a few is a handful is an individual investor. Maybe they are wealthy family individual investor, not an average Joe. Average Joe have no chance to buy those bonds. And if the bond market didn't do good, then it will also affect the stock market. The reason why is because even bond market, you can leverage, right? So you can leverage, and because of the easy money policy, some institution investor probably leverage those bonds, and right now there's no buyers. So if there's no buyers, then that means they have to sell some of the some of the stuff that's more liquid. For example, stock market, gold and silver, those are more liquid. So that's why you have stock market some type of huge correction a few weeks ago, right? A week ago or something like that, because there's some issues in the bond market. So the thing is, if the bond market do not do well, this will affect the stock market, because they have to sell all this more liquid stuff to cover for the losses in the bond market. And as well as Bitcoin is more liquid, right? You can just go to exchange and sell it, and it's even more liquid than gold and silver stock market, because it open 24/7, even Saturday and Sunday. And the stock exchange is not even open on Saturday and Sunday. So that will be affected as well. So we will see if the next margin call coming up, maybe it will affect the stock market as well, but I could be wrong. So I'm not your financial advisor. Please use your due diligence. You should do your own research before you're investing money into any bond market, stock market, commodities, or crypto market as well. So this is just my take on this corporate corporate debt crisis coming up. So if you see something on the surface like this, that means there's something more behind the scene, right? Just don't look at the surface. You have to look something behind the scenes, something else going on. And right now, the mainstream media keep talking about coronavirus, okay? So that's why I don't talk about coronavirus that much, because I talked about this at least 2 months ago, back in January. And at the time when I talk about the total confirmed cases, maybe less than 4,000 or 3,000. Right now is 1 million case already, right? Yeah. So this is nothing surprise if you follow my channel if you follow my channel, this should not be a surprise to you, because this is the exponential nature of the virus. It's nothing new. I talk about this since January, and you should be well prepared ahead of everybody if you follow my channel. So this is no surprise. I told everybody, unfortunately, a lot of people will die because of this, and nobody take it seriously. And everybody think that this is a joke. This only happened in Asia. And because if you look at the epidemiology report, I'm not surprised. I mean, if you look at the study, you should predict this thing. Anybody can predict this thing. Only if you don't follow the mainstream media. You have to look at the study and do your independent thinking. And then that's how you come up with your own conclusion. if you look at the mainstream media, they will just divert you to in a different directions, right? So right now, everybody's the mainstream media talk about almost every freaking single hours, right? They want you to focus on these things, but there's something bigger behind, potentially the corporate debt crisis coming up. So they don't want you to focus on this. They want you to focus on this. So, so that's why I don't want to talk too much about this anymore, because we already predict this. At least back in January, we have already predicted this is going to happen. So there's no point, right? So let's shift gear about the Wuhan. Right now in Wuhan, they are going to loosen up. People can restrict the restriction of movement is a lift. So people from the Hubei province can go to other province. But the thing is, they're using something more scary. Health. So in the cell phone, before you can leave the province, you need to show a health code, a digital health certificate. So there's a digital health certificate. It's like a barcode, and it will show either red or green. If you are in red, no, you can't leave the province to work in another province. So you cannot leave the Hubei province or Wuhan. So if you have red, and if you have green one, you may leave the province. But then, even though you have a green one, some other province still refuse the Wuhan residents to go to their province because they're afraid that they are the hidden carrier or walking zombie to go to their province. So they're very scared. But the thing is, they implement this thing. So migrant workers who hold a green health code, they can work outside the city. But the thing is, what I heard, those code is in your cell phone, right? So they have you have to turn on your location. This is probably mandate by the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. Then they will see where you go, right? So if you go to a certain area, it's a hotspot, your green code will turn to red. Then they will send you a message telling you have to go to a quarantine center, and maybe in a motel or quarantine center, you have to pay the quarantine center certain type of money to get in, and you cannot go anywhere. That's ridiculous, right? So basically, the green digital health certificate can turn red if you go to a certain hotspot. Then after you go to a certain hotspot, it will turn red. And then you have to pay them money to self-quarantine yourself. And you cannot self-quarantine at your house or at your home, right? You have to go to those quarantine center, either sometimes maybe in a motel or sometime in some type of facility, and you have to pay them to get in. That is freaking ridiculous, man. I hope US will not get to this point with a digital certificate. That is pretty scary. And you never know. When things become so desperate people has desperate measures, right? So there's another thing talking about Bill Gates planning to use microchip implants to fight coronavirus, which is ID 2020. And of course, based on this Reuters fact check, they're saying that this is not true. Not doing micro implant. Yeah, the micro implant part is not true. But the digital certificate in your cell phone for the health record may be true. Because look at this ID 2020. This project is backed by Microsoft. So I'm not sure. Are they going to use a digital ID? This is also in the blockchain too. So this is pretty scary. So it's like a health certificate. So for example, maybe the vaccination record is also in this digital ID. And I don't know, in the future, if you want to fly, right? If you want to buy an air ticket, do you need to show your digital ID or some type of ID before you can board on a plane or something like that with a vaccination record? I mean, this could happen. Right now, we are in this very scary time. This could happen. And I don't know if you notice, it looks like more and more restriction every crisis. For example, 9/11, you have a Patriot Act, and it limit all your freedom. And they never reverse it, right? So right now, basically the citizens, the Americans give the federal government, huge power to control their freedom, civil liberties. So for example, if you go to a library to borrow some books, they can just go in to the library and check the records, what you have read, okay? Or I'm not surprised, even Amazon or YouTube, whatever you watch the video or whatever, or your buying habit, they probably send it to the federal government. You never know. Those big business can never be trusted anyway. So that's why you have to decentralize everything. You don't want one person, a centralized server, to store all your personal data information, your search preferences, what did you buy, and all that crap. So Facebook is notorious, right? They don't have good. They don't protect your. They don't protect your personal privacy at all, right? So, but the thing is, there's a fact check from Reuters saying this is not true. There's no microchips implant to the fight the coronavirus, but I suspecting that they're going to put in your cell phone probably in the future have a digital health certificate to see if you have any vaccination. That is scary. That is scary. I think we are getting into a more and more scary times, and every single crisis it will be more and more restriction. I don't know what in the end is that they want to control almost every single aspect of your life eventually. I'm not sure. I hope not. Let me know what you think about all this. I would love to hear from you. Do you think we are going to have a digital health certificate just like China? Because desperate people have desperate measures, right? And I want to point out another crazy stuff as well. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker, he basically has an emotional speech. He basically burst into tears when he made this speech. The reason why is because he ordered a whole bunch of N95, 2 shipment of N95 masks from China, and they also have a charter plane. So you can see a charter plane at the background. And the plane already arrived in the US, and yet do you know what happened? The federal government impounded the shipment. That is kind of ridiculous. So they impounded the shipment, and then the state of Massachusetts cannot get that mask. But the reason why they impounded the shipment is because they want the mask to they confiscated some of the masks to divert to New York and Rhode Island. So, and then at the end he got his shipment, but he only got partial shipment. So some of the masks go to New York and some of the masks go to Rhode Island. I mean, this is kind of ridiculous. You are in a democratic society, right? So if you want the state of Massachusetts to share some of the masks, just ask them, okay? Just ask them. Can you share some of the masks to N95 to the New Yorkers or to Rhode Island people? I'm sure they will say yes, right? Why you impound somebody else's shipment? This is ridiculous. Are we living in a democratic society? So I mean, this is kind of ridiculous. Why? Another thing is this kind of thing happened in China 2 months ago. So this is the central government, the central CCP, the central government sent masks and guns to Hubei province, to the Hubei province, which is the epicenter, right? The Wuhan. But then when they transfer the shipment, another province stole their supply. So there's no supplies. There's stole their supply. They let them. They probably let partial supplies to go into the another province, but some of the province also take all the masks and guns as well. So this is ridiculous. I mean, those things I thought can only happen to China, and yet this is the federal government impound the state supply. Let me know what you think about this. I mean, I think this is kind of crazy. If you're living in a civilized democratic society, you should not do something like that. This is no rule of law, nothing. But right now, there's no rule of law anyway, because you are in a state of national emergency, right? They can do whatever they want, basically. We are very close to martial law anyway, right? So, I mean, this is a red flag, okay? This is alarming. So this is basically, I don't know, this is like infringe the... I don't know. I can't say any more. So eventually they can infringe your civil liberties, your slowly they will erode your freedom away, basically. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, and I don't want to be correct. So let me know what you think about all this. I would love to hear from you. And look at this. This is very disturbing. This guy is from China, obviously. And he basically, all this surgical mask is like putting all, wiping the shoes, and he's making fun of it. Do you want to buy anything from China? I don't think so. So I think US should beef up their production. All this strategic manufacturing thing coming back to the US. Seriously. Of course, this is nothing new. We talked about this at least 2 months ago, right? Even though you have no symptoms, nothing, you're still spreading the virus. You are the hidden spreader. You are just a walking zombie spreading the virus without yourself knowing it. And even though you are not sick, and they don't talk about until probably maybe recently, maybe, right? We talked about that at least 2 months ago. So anyway, so let me know what you think about all these things. I mean, things are getting more insane, unfortunately. Oh, one more thing I want to talk about the PPE. Almost forgot. So you can see the reporter has a hazmat suit. Looks like it has more protection than the ER physician, right? And the physician only have a hair cover and an N95 and then a gowns. And I don't know if she has a shoe cover. I can't see, but this guy has a shoe cover and go all the way from top to bottom. So everybody wants this hazmat suit. But the thing is, I told in my previous video, hazmat suit may not be a good idea because when, for example, you cannot go to the bathroom. I mean, how can you go to the bathroom? It's difficult, right? You have to take off the whole thing. And once you take it off, you cannot reuse it. You have to throw it away, basically. And when you take off the hazmat suit, there's a high chances that you cross-contaminate yourself. You can self-contaminate yourself, and then you expose yourself to the virus. And basically, when you take off the gown, so it's very easy. You touch the surface of the gowns, and then you put, and then you touch your eyes and nose or mouth or whatever, and then you got the virus, right? Especially you have the frontline people. It's very you have high viral load. And here, I'm fine with, based on the infectious disease expert in Hong Kong, they have tons of experience of SARS. They will recommend this outfit rather than this because of high potential of self-contaminate. And based on the experience, they are saying that you have high potential of getting the virus by when you are degowning, rather than you are going to the room doing face-to-face with the patient. When you're degowning, usually it's near the end of the shift, right? You wear this for the whole day. You at the end of the shift, then you seem to be a little bit relaxing. Oh, it's the end of the shift. I can go home. So you don't pay attention. When you're degowning, you touching the surface, and then you expose yourself to the virus. So for this one, you can go to the bathroom easily, right? This is just take off the gown, and you have a head cover, N95, you need a goggle, and also you need a face shield. The only thing that is missing from this is a face shield and a goggle. And the hair cover doesn't cover, she should cover all the way. And she wear this pretty good. She cover at the back also pretty good as well. You should cover front and back, right? Not just people just do the front and forget about the back. And of course, the mask, they should use a surgical mask, the thicker one. And also, she should have a shoe cover if they go to a patient room, right, with suspected case. And I don't know if she has a shoe cover. So actually, the infectious disease expert in Hong Kong, they recommend this type of outfit. And I think some hospital, they do a yellow gowns. Those yellow gowns are not fluid resistant. I think this is more, the blue gown is more fluid resistant. It's more robust than the other one. The other one is a crap, Anyway, those are made in China anyway. So this thing, let me know what you think about this. Do you think they need a hazmat suit, or do you think it's this? Personally, if I'm working the whole day for the 10 hours or 12 hours, you need to go to the bathroom. So if this thing, you can barely go to the bathroom, right? For this thing, you take off the gown. Unfortunately, you don't have to reuse the gown. You wear another gown. But right now, it looks like they're reusing the gown. So you take off the gown, you can wear it again. This is more easy to take off. This is more easy to take off. You're less likely to self-contaminate yourself with this outfit rather than this outfit. So just FYI, this is just my take on it. I know a lot of CCP, Chinese Communist Party propaganda saying that, hey, the US doesn't have enough equipment, but I disagree with them. So let me know what you think about this, and also let me know what you think about the corporate debt crisis coming up, and as well as the Massachusetts governor pretty much crying because because the state of Massachusetts ordered masks from China, and then the shipment got impounded by the federal government. Please comment below. I would love to hear from you. If you find this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. Also, share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe so you can continue watching the update, what's going on behind the scene of the coronavirus. There's some other message talking about rather than just coronavirus. Seriously, I think the mainstream media, they want you to focus on that, but how about the economy? So I will please comment below. That will help my ranking in YouTube. I will continue to provide quality video for you guys. So remember, crypto deep divers, we the people take control of our money. Stay wise, stay safe, peace. I'm not a financial advisor. Investing in cryptocurrency or other commodity can have financial risk. Please use a due diligence. And I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your healthcare provider. Or so if you have any questions or concern about coronavirus, please contact with your physicians.